All right. Well, good afternoon. Just testing this out, just looking at the unofficial results. Let me go ahead and run a quick audio test, make sure everything's working. Test, test, test. All right. Here we go. Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich. I thought I'd just spend a few minutes this afternoon going over the unofficial election results that were released, or the last update was at 12 noon today, Wednesday, the 8th of November. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share, and then we'll go ahead and I'll just walk through them real quickly. I'm going to make very little commentary. It's really just updating folks in case you haven't had a chance to go to the C4 Commissioner Facebook page, or perhaps to the county website, either where the pop-up alert is on the home page. There's also under announcements, or if you go under the department pages, elections, it is also the results. Unofficial results are also posted there. So let me do a screen share here, and it's going to be specifically the unofficial results, and that should start sharing here in just a second. I'll get started once I confirm it is visible. So that screen is now sharing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to really just blow through real quickly the three court positions. You have the Justice of the Supreme Court. Again, these are results for Carbon County only. These were retention questions that were posted. And Justice of the Supreme Court, Superior Court, and the Commonwealth Court. Let's go ahead. Let's jump down here real quickly to commissioners, and I'm going to be filling some of these in as we go, highlighting them as being necessary. So none at all, let's say, no surprise here. We all predicted that the 3 of 4 commissioner candidates that would win, and in the order in which they would win, would be Wayne, Mike, and Rocky. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the significantly low number of Democrat registered voters and who go out to vote compared to Democrat. 3-2 Republican to Democrat. I will tell you, Rocky's numbers were really, really low, though 41-25 on us. Take a look at the comparison. Actually, a little surprised, but again, that's likely to do with the turnout rate for Democrats, but we're going to have to dive into that a little bit later. So on January 3rd, we can expect Wayne, Mike, and Rocky to go ahead and take their oath of office for the next Board of Commissioners. The really most contested race was Sam Lux, Kayla Herman. Kayla was successful and victorious by just over 2,000 votes. And again, we're not able to specifically break down between, Dem and reps who voted for which candidate, but you can do some analysis if you go back and see the normal of percentage of Democrats that would kind of stay aligned with their party, likewise the Republicans, and then those who might, kind of be more focused on, quality of the candidate, not simply party alignment. So you can kind of figure that out to see what that 2,300 vote difference, or where it came from in the regards to the voters. But again, it's not going to change the ultimate result. Now, Recorder of Deeds was an uncontested race there. I'm going to blow this up just a little bit more, see if we can get in there. All right, for at least now here. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so there it is, recorder of deeds, bringing up the top of the page. That was uncontested. Should be no surprise, about 9,600, I think just over. We had in this particular race 14,900 was the voter turnout. The coroner's race, I mean, there was a strong likelihood. Bob's been a long time incumbent. He was defeated by Mark Smith. You see the numbers for Mark there compared to Bob's. I tell you, Bob did have a tough time, I thought, in the debate. 1,200 a vote separating them, more or less. Mark definitely came across, at least in the debate, and it wasn't a debate, they simply did introductions. He came across very strong, having identified some issues and problems that he saw or perceived, or maybe others, and then speaking about potential ways to correct those deficiencies that were observed, and then really expressing a really good vision for the coroner's office. District attorney, again, no competition there. Prothonotary with Kayla Semmel, no competition there. Roll to the sheriff, Dan Ziegler. I think unfortunately no competition there. I think we would have been much better served with Rich Branch from out the mountain, who ran in the primary, who I think underperformed, or again, maybe it just wasn't enough time to get the word out about Rich Branch out there, but I think he would have been a much stronger sheriff. Keep in mind, I know he also won on the Dem side with a write-in campaign, I suspect, or something. No surprise there. That's where he came from, right? In November or December, he was a Democrat. So, I don't know where he really stands on those issues, right? All right, good to see Eric and Jim Thorpe in the magistrate office there. No competition. Bill Kistner down in Palmerton, likewise. And again, keep in mind, these are unofficial results, unlikely to change much. Onesies and twosies and threesies, maybe, but not significant changes. Or we have a real issue on our hand versus the little ones that we did have, such as the vote for 2, vote for 1 East Penn Township. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. And then also the Hazleton Area School District supervisor candidates, board member candidates, who on the mail-in ballots, that had to be adjusted because those names were not listed. Oh, up in 56-303, that was a pretty important race for those up in Nesquehoning, Lansford, Summit Hill. I believe it also includes East Penn and a part of another municipality. Beth Dodson by about 1,200 votes there over Billy O'Gorick. Supervisor Banks Township, vote for 1. See Charles Shales on there. Auditor Joseph Bodner, the only candidate there, with 218 of 258 total votes. Beaver Meadows, vote for 4, and this is for the borough council up there. Carilla and Brendan. Plus, there's going to be 2 additional ones that will be chosen by, from the writing candidates. I shouldn't have underlined that one there, right? So you got some coming from the writing candidates. And so we'll be starting looking at the writing candidates here very shortly. On Friday, we'll go ahead and start the official canvassing after about 9 o'clock. Down in Bowmanstown, vote for 3. Looking at the numbers there, right? You got Pamela Libby, Norman Engel, and Kara Scott are the 3 there. So 3 on the ballot, 3 likely to be in. Again, these are the unofficial results. The county has 20 days, or the election board has 20 days to certify these results. All right, supervisor in East Penn, vote for 2. Now, there was approximately out there, let me see if I got my numbers right. There were actually 61 mail-in ballots that had to be corrected, or voters had the opportunity to adjust, because those mail-in ballots said vote for one, it was actually vote for two. Every one of those voters was reached out to, phone, email, and given actually mixing the vote for two and vote for one a little bit. So all of those mail-ins, which was 61 of them, there was an opportunity for everyone who might have submitted one to vote for two. There were 19 individuals who we reached out to who did not respond. Either they said, those who did respond, yes, we're going to send in a new ballot, or no, I want my existing vote to stand. So what you see up there, don't expect, because there was a write-in candidate. So we're going to see probably two. You'll see, of course, Dennis and John. Why that? Because I don't want that do that, John. All right, should be moving up. Dennis and both John did actually pretty well out there, not bad. All right. Auditor, it's all based on write-in for the both terms. East Side Borough, let's looking for 3 candidates out there. And you can see Elizabeth, Rudolph, Rudy, and John. 3 candidates, 3 seats available out there. Supervisor, Franklin Township, vote for 1. There, Fred Kemmer out there, doing really well with just over 1,000, maybe 1,100 votes, gaining 849 of those. Auditor in Franklin, that's going to be one of those where it's going to come down to the write-ins. Jim Thorpe Borough, vote for 3. All right, so a strong showing by Sidney Warnett, Connor Rogers, and then finally Mike Yeasted. Eliminated, who I thought probably had us, Michael Rifkin and Bob Shaniger. Notice that down here also, you have Sidney Warnett also winning on the 2-year term. So she's going to have to make a choice if she wants the 2 or a 4-year term. I would suspect she'll accept the 4-year term. That'll create a vacancy in the 2-year term that will have to be filled. The loser doesn't simply move up because the winner chooses the other opportunity with the 4-year term. I think with Sidney and Connor, my expectation or aspiration or hope is that they'll inject some youthful enthusiasm and ideas. Can't expect, a council body of average and probably 60 years old or so to have ideas similar to that of a young, 20, 25, 30-year-old. So I think that different perspective, different age group is going to be really beneficial to the borough of Jim Thorpe and council. So let's hope they rise to the occasion. Out in Kidder, Lewis and Knoll, right? Suspected based upon the numbers showing there. And that was vote for 2, so shouldn't see a change. Auditor Kidder, no, that's another write-in. Look at Lansford Borough, vote for 4. Trying to see if I can look at that. You have 3 in the 300s. Hold on, let's see if let me undo that one. Every once in a while. So in the 300s, you have Bruce, Michelle, and Jack. Let's go to the highest in the 200. Unless that was one write-in candidate with all 200. in 96, it would likely be Joseph Boutry rounding out that 4 if I got it right. But again, understand these are unofficial results, have provisional ballots that still have to be counted. There weren't many of them at all. But once we start canvassing on Friday, those numbers will be rolled in. Luzerne Township, look at that. No one for 1-year terms. That'll come down to write-in. Auditor. All right. 6-year Lehigh Township supervisor. Looks like only one candidate there. Auditor. Council, Lehighton voting for 4. So you go right to the 500s, right? You have Dave Zimmerman leading there, then Stephen Hawk, John Kreitz, and then we drop down next to what I see is Grant Hunsiker for the 4-year term, the vote for 4. So you always have to be conscious. Let's look, vote for 1 for the 2-year term. Rebecca with 578 seems a shoe in there, right? Again, these are unofficial results. Supervisor, Lower Toe, 6-year term, vote for 1. And there is one, this Jay down there, Mulligan, looking at the 4-year term. So again, Jay's going to have to decide one or the other. There, just like the situation that occurred in Jim Thorpe. So again, that would be one based upon what he chooses that would actually be filled, not by the individual comes in second, but by the township supervisors appointing and quote unquote anointing. Mahoning Township, 6-year term, vote for 1. Myra, and look at the auditor, nothing again, all write-ins. Nesquehoning Borough, 4-year term, voting for 4, but you only have 3 candidates there. So that's 4th one's going to come down to write-in candidate to fill that 4th of a 4-year term. Again, though, you go back to the situation where you have an individual running both for 4 and 2 years. Depending on what they choose, that creates a vacancy that will have to be filled. Packer Township, Republican Terry Davis over Republican Paul Bray. Paul actually won on the Dem side with write-ins in the primary, and therefore he was tagged as the nominee of the Democratic Party, but Paul is a Republican. All right, auditor. I just blow right by those. They are all seem to be write-in based. Let's look at Palmerton Borough Council, vote for 3. I don't think there's any question if you're from Palmerton, who we see as the #1 vote getter. That's Terry down there, Terry Costenbader, followed by Andrew Hollywood, and then Holly. That's a pretty close one. So, this is one that could actually be decided by provisional ballots. But again, I can't recall what the number of provisionals are down there in Palmerton, but that's a race simply separated by 5 votes for the 3rd position. So that could be interesting. No one for the 1 year, or excuse me, let's see, the 2-year term, Bill Gallagher. There we are. Split the page here. All right. So William Gallagher for the 1-year term, excuse me, for the 2-year term, vote for 1 in Palmerton. Tax collector, only 1 candidate down in Palmerton. Perryville Borough for council, 4-year term. Sadly, no candidates, all write-ins. Now we go back to Perryville 2-year term. Again, no candidates on the ballot. Look at that, election day, 1 write-in. That's going to be interesting down in Perryville, how they're going to move forward with the lack of candidates, civic participation. Well, the Penn Forest Township, 6-year term, vote for 1. Only James Denier is on the ballot there. Auditor, again, auditors, nope. Summit Hill Borough, vote for 4. Now, this was pretty interesting. Look at Marlene is up there in the 600. Then you immediately drop down to the 400s with up in Summit Hill, right? You have Dave Wargo, who I thought has been doing a really good job, followed by Lacey Gonzalez. And then, let's see, 422, right? Michael Kokinda. However, I would say you got to watch out. 424, Alan Kraslicki, right? To that 422. Let's see, write-ins. No, not big there. But the fact is, have to look at provisionals because there's not a large separation. Let's see, 29 or so, right? Sitting there between Dave Wargo, Doom. Yeah, right there, that 460. Let's see, push. No. Oh, there it is, Kraslicki, right? 424 and the 422 one is what I'm looking at. Disregard that one there. Let's see if I can get rid of that one. All right, yep, there it is. So the 422, the 424. Again, provisional ballots could adjust that one. Summit Hill Borough down in 2-year term, vote for 1. Again, that could change things up because look at that, the 2 candidates for 2-year term. They're running on ballot positions for both terms. So again, likely to see some appointments up there in Summit Hill. Tolmensing, vote for 1. Guy Seifert, really strong showing there. Tax collector Susan was the only one on the ballot there. Weatherly mayor, only Paul was on the ballot. Vote for 2 up in Weatherly. 382 for Michael Belizia, and then Joseph Seibert. Let's see what the differences are. Yeah, probably not. All right. Council, Weisport Borough. Vote for 2 4-year term. Both Arlen and Joe. Looking solid there. Given the number of write-ins. Again, provisionals can always impact races. But again, we don't start canvassing until the end of the week. Hazleton Area School District, again, these have to be combined with votes from 2 other counties or portions thereof. So I'm not going to discuss those. Jim Thorpe School District, right? Vote for 5. See, Michelle Banks just over 2. She has 2,000. Pearls up over 2,000, which to me, this one was kind of a shocker. For her, she's kind of dropped off the radar. Haven't heard much from her there. Then let's go to the 19, right? You have Chris Fishy up there. Mary and Michelle would round out the 5. Scott down there at 1925. Again, have to look at the write-ins with 52. That could make a difference there. I'm trying to add that up real quick. Yep, that would be 1977. Again, it ain't over till it's over, right? Till the fat lady sings. So provisional ballots, write-ins could make a difference. Jump into Lehighton real quick. I'm going to wrap this up in the next couple minutes. And again, these are only unofficial results. We got canvassing to do. So we're looking, and we'll be looking at write-ins, of course. And then importantly, the provisional ballots, if any, from all the voting precincts. This was vote for 5. There's 5 on the ballot here. But there were a lot of write-ins, but none of them are significant enough to impact this. And I can almost assure you that there's not provisionals enough to alter the 4-year term 5. What you might have, let's see, only 1 candidate for 2-year. So don't expect any change there either. Palmerton School District, you had 5 candidates for the 4-year term. And again, 5 on the ballot, 5 positions to fill. All right. Let's go ahead and look at Panther Valley School District again. 5 individuals on the ballot. Pat, Daniel, Anthony, Michael, and Marco. 4-year term. All right. So let's see if there's another term. Nope. Those are all 4-year term. All right. Jump to Weatherly School District. Vote for 5. Let's see where we stand. 826. Bill. All right. Congratulations, Bill. I think we're going to go to April. Walters is second with 765. Look, we have Ty for the 3rd and 4th. Ty Harris and Gerard Grega. All right. And then we do have, I think there's a 658 was the next one there. All right. So there's 5 for 5 right there. We'll see how that plays out with write-ins and provisionals. Definitely not enough write-ins to change. Nope, not enough. More than 449. Again, that's still to be considered, actually. And then the 2-year term, let's see if we have any difference there. Nope. But you had 1. Ooh, all right. Like a Tom Connor Jr. up there. Let's see the write-ins, 23. Probably not a chance there for a change there. Superior Court retentions. All right. Questions that were on the back side of the ballot. So, hey, this Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich. I just wanted to quickly skim over these publicly, and really it's for my own purposes, just so I have a sense of what races are being close as we go back down and start the canvassing process, opening those provisional ballots and scanning them, counting the write-ins and stuff, helping me prepare to be sensitive to particular races and how the canvassing process may impact the final results. If I recall correctly, there it is, right? We had about just under 15,000 voters, just under 36%. Not a real high turnout, not dismal, but definitely not really good at all. I'll go ahead and compare that to previous 2019, go back to 2015, probably go back to 11 and 2007 and look at turnout percentages to see how that compares. So that's like similar elections, right? General municipal elections. So this is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich just doing a quick rundown of the unofficial results. Keep in mind the county does have 20 days to certify their results, so you can expect changes in numbers unquestionably, because we're going to be opening provisional ballots. We're going to be scanning and checking those write-ins also. So again, want you to have a wonderful day. This is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich saying thank you for joining me this afternoon, and hope each and every one of you who is listening either now or later did have the opportunity or did make the opportunity to get out there and do your civic duty and